Are you ready for some smart, plain talk on politics, Israel, and the law? It's the Andrew Parker Show. Let's roll. Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Parker Show. Go to theandrewparkershow.com to learn all about the show. We talk politics, Israel, and the law, and there is much to discuss as it relates to Israel, the Jewish people, and politics. The United States being separated by the haters, the anti-Semites, the Islamists, who wish to destroy the one and only Jewish state, are stronger now than ever. They're stronger now than ever within the Democratic Party. And what do I mean by this? Every excuse under the book is being given by my liberal friends who have voted Democrat their entire lives and may well continue to, as crazy and insane as that is, because it's no longer a possibility, this is just a small little group in the corner who is being contained by the Democratic Party. Don't worry. No, it is not that. As I said on the previous episode, the dam has broken and the water is flooding in force, destroying everything in its path. Yes, indeed. And what do I mean by that? Well, on this episode, I am going to suggest to you in a prediction that soon, effectively, Yasser Arafat, the founder, head for decades of the PLO, with massive amounts of Jewish blood on his hands, will be sitting in the United States Senate in the name of Abdul el-Sayed and potentially other friends of his, for certain friends of his like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, who hate MAGA and the Republican Party, hate conservative ideas more than they hate Nazi-like ideas, which are the Islamists, Hamas, and they carried it out on October 7th, the Muslim Brotherhood, and others, who want complete and total destruction, and openly speak of it, of the State of Israel, no recognition of the State of Israel. Said specifically refused to do so. And whose endgame is the destruction of the Jewish state, the one and only Jewish state, which was reestablished by the indigenous people of that land, the Jewish people, shortly after the Holocaust. So what will it look like when the U.S. Senate has Yasser Arafat sitting in it and his friends and a group that support it? Oh, that's going to be another excuse by my liberal friends who have voted their entire life Democrat. And by the way, I voted my entire life Democrat until I didn't, because I saw this a couple decades ago in Bernie Sanders initially, then just a decade, not even 8 years ago in 2018 when Ilhan Omar and AOC and came in with their and Tlaib with their ideas, which is Abdul el-Sayed light. He called the Israelis bloodthirsty. Doesn't say a word about Hamas or Palestinians. No, the Israelis are bloodthirsty. They get massacred on a war launched by Hamas and the Palestinians, and not a word. but the Israelis in self-defense, and they are not going to rely on anyone else to defend them, and they are not going to allow for the elimination of their state or of the Jewish people. And so, in defense, launched what was a brutal war, as war often is, but in a way that was most humanitarian of any urban warfare. And we can debate that issue, but the facts are the facts in that regard. This whole genocide lie is an unadulterated, not just misstatement, mischaracterization, but intentional untruth. But it's working. El Said won. He beat Haley Stevens, and the Democratic Party is wrapping themselves in him. Haley Stevens comes out and endorses him. Unbelievable for her to endorse these Islamist ideas, these racist ideas that not too long ago were verboten from the public square, couldn't even be discussed or talked about. It would be like screaming the N-word at the top of your lungs. It would be like walking the streets in a KKK white robe and hood, and it being normalized and okay. That's what El Said is doing and his Islamist friends. Saying no more support for the state of Israel. Worse yet, not recognizing the state of Israel. Worse yet, boycott, divestment, and sanctions to destroy the state of Israel. To give money not to Israel for munitions to defend themselves, but rather to UNRWA, who it is now fully disclosed supported and engaged in many of their staff members in October 7 and the murder and massacre of innocent, peace-loving, peacenik-loving kibbutzim residents in the state of Israel. Of all the people, those are the civilians they massacred. Atrocities that cannot even be spoken of. And El Said supports that. The Democratic Party now has within its midst not just communists, the Communist Party, but Islamists who support that. And I believe that El Said is going to beat Mike Rogers. Now, we'll see. I hope my prediction is wrong. I absolutely do. Because it would be horrific. Yasser Arafat sitting in the U.S. Senate effectively and starting to build a coalition that the Democratic Party, he will automatically have at least half the Democratic senators supporting his racist views, as disgusting as that might be. Guarantee it if he gets elected. At least half, maybe more. Because it has now become a part of the Democratic Party. And to my Jewish liberal friends who have voted their entire life Democrat, you need to ask yourself a question. Do you hate the Republican Party more than you hate those who massacred Jews and who believe in the Islamist movement? Oh, El Said isn't that bad. He's not so... Really? And what he is calling for, as it relates to Jews, to you, is total destruction. That's what it is. For Haley Stevens to come out and endorse him, for the silence amongst the leadership of the Democratic Party after his nomination, his win in the primary, to get the endorsement of the Democratic Party is absolutely outrageous. It's racist. It's moral decay, complete moral bankruptcy by the Democrats. And the only one speaking out and yelling from the mountaintops is John Fetterman. And he's getting annihilated for it. And that is wrong. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Are you a business owner? Are you losing sleep because you feel your partner isn't carrying their weight, or because you no longer share the same vision or values? Are you no longer comfortable going into your own office? Are you walking on eggshells in the company you built? This is Chris Daniels, founding partner of Parker Daniels Keyboard LLC, a premier litigation law firm headquartered in downtown Minneapolis. For more than 30 years, I've specialized in business litigation and have helped hundreds of business owners resolve troubling business disputes. As a former certified public accountant, I get to the heart of the dispute, including financial issues. Business divorce can be messy, time-consuming, and costly, but doing nothing can cost you a lot more. Not just money, but emotionally, physically, and in your personal life. If you and your business partner no longer see eye to eye, and you're eager to take a proactive approach and make a change, please call me at 612-355-4100 and schedule a consultation. Or visit our website at www.parkerdk.com.
When are the Jewish Democrats going to stand up? Some of them have. But here's the deal. Michigan, ground zero for the American Islamist movement. For decades, Stephen Emerson wrote about it, The American Jihad. Go get the book. He wrote about it 20 years ago, at least. And right under our noses, the building by the Muslim Brotherhood and other Islamist groups of jihad here in America has been going on without stop, without any interference. Yes, there have been arguments back at the margins and judicial cases, etc. But now the avalanche has occurred. The dam has broke. The flood is starting. And I am telling you right now that it is going to be a march that is not going to stop until laws are changed. And these could be laws like the Nuremberg laws. These could be laws against Jews in this country. You know, God willing, it shouldn't happen. But you could see how it could very easily. And Jewish Americans have to wake up. In Michigan, ground zero for the Islamist movement, the jihad movement in the United States, there are 120,000 Jewish voters, of which about 100,000 may well vote in the upcoming Senate race in November. Mike Rogers, the Republican, against El Sayed, the Islamist, and the communist. But right now I'm talking about the threat to the Jewish community, and it is real and it is significant, and it is not American. It's the worst of hate to destroy the one homeland the Jewish people have. Around the world, they are being assaulted and even murdered. Antisemitism breaking all records. Back to the Holocaust and back to Nazi Germany. It has never been worse since. And to think, oh, it's not that bad. It is. So these 100,000 or so voters, Jewish voters in Michigan, could make the difference. It has been for the last several cycles, election cycles, very close races in Michigan. congressional, Senate, and presidential. And 100,000 votes, many of them switching from Democrat to Republican, could make the difference between Yasser Arafat embodiment sitting in the U.S. Senate and not. Pushing back against, fighting back against this movement. That's what needs to happen. But are the Jewish people in Michigan, who have voted Democrat their entire life, many of them, going to say, I will vote Republican before I will vote for this Jew hater, this Israel hater? I don't know that they are. I can tell you in Minnesota, the Jewish community here, there are many that are continuing to make excuses for the Democratic Party. And no matter what, they will vote for the Islamist, the Jew hater. Even if they were the Jew hater was carrying Nazi propaganda, which they are. They will vote for that before they will vote for a Republican. It's gotten that crazy. Before they will vote for a MAGA. Mike Rogers is a moderate Republican. He is, a down-the-middle politician. People call him establishment now because it has a negative connotation. We're in the danger zone. And the Jewish people could be the ones to get El-Sayed elected. Boy, the stupidity will just be insane. Because from that, the parade of horribles that could result as this flood is now opened is too scary to recount. And if it takes too long to repair the dam, holding back this hate, it may be irreversible, I dare say. The reason I predict Mike Rogers is going to have a difficult time is not just because the Jewish people of Michigan are not going to switch their votes over. I hope that they do, because they could make the difference. But the other reason is Donald Trump is not on the ticket, is not on the ballot, I should say, this time around. Mike Rogers almost won, narrowly lost last time to a non-Islamist, non-lunatic, crazy fringe like will be running for the Democrats this time. Mike Rogers narrowly lost, but he had Donald Trump on the ballot, and many, many Republicans showed up to vote, and they voted for Mike Rogers. Those people may not vote this time when Trump is not on the ballot. They may sit it out. The energy of it simply won't be there for the Republicans without Trump on the ballot. And the energy for Saeed and for those far left voters, for those college student voters who are being indoctrinated by the Islamist movement and all the money that flows in and will flow in to El-Sayed, because this is an opportunity of a lifetime, never having happened before. Yasser Arafat to sit in the U.S. Senate effectively. Who would have thought even 3 years ago that it was possible? Well, with the Democratic Party continuing to talk about big tent nonsense Adolf Hitler could sit in the Democratic Party, and they would say, well, we're we're open-minded to all thoughts and ideas. Even the cleansing of Jews, how far down the road is that? El Said. So he could beat Mike Rogers. It's real. And the danger, again, is worse than I could really describe. Well, sorry to be the pessimist on the prediction, but again, I hope I'm wrong, and let's begin today to fight back, to rebuild the dam, to hold back those angry, destructive waters. Let's do it a day at a time. And, fight that battle to bring the Democratic Party back within the boundaries of our Constitution, American way of life, our culture, instead of outside of that, which is so destructive and hateful. It's the Andrew Parker Show. Thank you very much for joining us this episode. We're coming up on 10 years and nearly 500 episodes. We'll have a bit of a celebration in an upcoming episode yet this month. Stay tuned, subscribe, go to the AndrewParkerShow.com, theAndrewParkerShow.com. Thank you for listening, and until next time, be kind to your neighbor. For more smart, plain talk, go to theAndrewParkerShow.com. Learn about all of your listening and viewing options. And remember, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. This episode of The Andrew Parker Show is sponsored by Parker Daniels Keyboard. Mark Twain once quipped, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. When you are lied about and it spreads, the resulting mayhem and destruction can be, and often is, disastrous." Hi, this is Andrew Parker, co-founder of the Parker Daniels Keyboard Law Firm. I recently handled a high-profile defamation lawsuit on behalf of a luxury home real estate agent whose business was decimated by falsehoods spread about him. After nearly 2 years of litigation and 2 weeks of trial, the jury came back with a verdict of more than $2 million for our client. Parker Daniels Keyboard. We litigate cases, we try cases, and we win cases. With a record of excellence in achieving extraordinary results, Parker Daniels Keyboard lawyers have consistently won huge verdicts for its clients in the areas of defamation, civil rights violations, regulatory battles, and intellectual property theft. For wise counsel and winning results, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard, premier law firm in downtown Minneapolis.